Seekonk, Massachusetts is a popular residential area for people who work in Providence, Rhode Island or Boston, Massachusetts. It's also home to the action track of the East, Seekonk Speedway, and that means the NASCAR Modifieds. Seekonk Speedway is a fan-friendly facility, but last year's winner, Doug Kobe, will tell you the tight confines are tough on the drivers. But that can be just what veterans like Dave Sapienza and Woody Pitkat need to kickstart their season. Welcome to Seekonk Speedway and the Seekonk 150 for the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Sheheen alongside Ray Evernham, and Derek Bernasiglio will be joining us in a few moments. Ray, this is a really challenging racetrack.
It is. You drive it like a big circle, but wow, Ralph, look at the crowd here.
70 degrees, the temperature, a beautiful night for racing, and let's show you where Seekonk Speedway is located, just 58 miles south of downtown Boston. As we get ready to go racing, let's take a look at the point standings. Chase Dowling, Justin Bonsignor, Craig Lutz, what a battle, but not the names we expected up top.
Yeah, it looks like Timmy Solomito and Doug Kobe have not had the start they wanted, and we see some unfamiliar names up there at the front.
It's going to be a great title fight as Kobe goes for championship number 6 this season. Well, let's learn more about the unique characteristics of this venue from our pit reporter, Derek Bernasiglio.
Ralph, welcome to the Steel Palace here at the Seekonk Speedway. And this track is very unique compared to all the tracks that the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour races on, because when they circle this track, they do in fact run in a circle. The groove here is the complete circle. You never stop turning. You're always loaded on the chassis. The tires are always leaning, and you have to be able to have the car handling for 150 laps. So that's what makes this track so unique. You never really get a chance to get straight around this track. If you get straight, you're not going fast enough. But one of the other great parts about this track is this crowd behind me. Look at this crowd. They come from all over the East Coast of New England. They come from Hartford. They come from Providence, Boston, and even New York. They're here to enjoy a great night of racing tonight at Seekonk.
Well, the uniqueness of this racetrack is not just the layout of the track, but what they've raced here over the years, Ray. Let's take you back in the day. Of course, we know Modifieds have always been a part of the legend and the lore of Seekonk Speedway. But, Ray, did you know that they even race ostriches here?
Yeah, that was a little bit before my time, but look at that. And Dan Fleener's Hurricane Hell drivers jumping over one another.
And did you ever partake in this?
No, maybe on the way home.
I love the unique design of some of those machines. And, Ray, if there was ever something perfect for you, flooding the infield and racing boats.
I think Kyle Petty wanted to do that to Darlington one time.
Here's a look at some of the past winners of this year. Now let's meet our pole sitter.
Thanks, Ralph. Justin Bonsignor already has a win to his credit this season in the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, and now he has a pole to his credit. Justin, you've run here in the past in various other series, but what's the hardest part about getting around this place?
Just got to have a car that's rotating the center really good. You can't be too tight, because then you just get that free up off. So you got to roll the center, but at the same time still keep the drive in a car. So I think we got a really good car. We practiced well today. We qualified on the pole, first one in almost 4 years. So we're excited. We got a really good car, and hopefully we can keep it underneath us for 150.
It's 150. If a guy pits, he's going to go a lap down. So staying out is the most important part of this race. How do you stay out, conserve the car, but not waste the tires?
You just got to set a good pace. I'm hoping we can get a good start, get to the lead. We got Matt next to us. He's usually, sets a good pace too. So we want to just get out front, lead some laps. I have a feeling there might be a few cautions tonight with the big car count. So we just got to keep the track position. You don't want to pit, that's for sure. The pit crew, I don't even know why they're setting up. We ain't coming in tonight.
Justin Bonsignor is going to bring the field to green tonight at the Cement Palace.
Well, the infield is bone dry. No boat races today. But the Modifieds are ready. The cars that have made Seekonk legendary will be coming to the green right after this on NBCSN. There's a good look at the huge crowd on hand here at Seekonk Speedway. This legendary facility packs them in each and every weekend, but certainly when the Modifieds are in town. And Ray, the layout of this place, Derek talked about it, very, very unique.
Yeah, it's a third of a mile, but like Derek said, it is a third of a mile skid pad. Got to run it in a circle.
Here's Derek.
Well, our Who to Watch driver tonight will be that Starrett-sponsored number 16 machine of Timmy Solomito. He starts in the 17th position, and he really wasn't too happy earlier in the day. The team needs some luck this year. They only have top 10 finishes. They don't have any wins or top 5s or even a pole. So they're hoping tonight they can turn their luck around. Yes, they start deeper in the field, but Timmy says he has a good handling car. And if you have a good handling car here at Seekonk, you can take it to the front.
Well, he's 6th in the championship standings, so he'd like a good run here tonight. Here's a look at the starting lineup. We already met Justin Bonsignor. Matt Hirschman rolls off right alongside.
Yeah, and then we look at our reigning champion, Doug Kobe, sitting back there on the outside of the 6th row.
As you take a look at Kobe back there, what do you think's wrong with his program this year?
Well, you know, I'm certainly not worried about him yet, but they just haven't hit the stride that we expect. He sets such a high bar. We have huge expectations of him being in the first 2 or 3. And here we go in green, Ralph.
Coming to the flag and underway. Bonsignor on the 51 will have the advantage, starting on the inside, and he'll make it work. And he puts the 51 at the point to the field.
Got Hirschman there working the outside. Right now it's early, but you don't want to get a lot of heat in that right rear tire. You don't want to give up a spot, but you also don't want to use up too much of that tire. You heard Justin say early, man, they're not planning on pitting.
Well, speaking of pitting, Ray, you don't see any pit stuff on the inside of the racetrack. That means it's all outside, which is another disadvantage to having a pit here.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you could go a lap down pretty easily if you don't get if you don't go in and out. Again, with a short track, a place this small, and you know, to get a lap back here would be extremely tough. Pretty impressed that we're seeing an outside groove working early, Ralph.
Rowan Pennick in the blue 3. He's on that outside lane, just above the 24 of Andrew Krause.
Andrew Krause, another car out of New Jersey.
See the 7NY up there, too, of John McKennedy. The red 7NY.
Owned by that guy that sits in when I'm missing, you know, that Baldwin
what
guy?
was his name again?
Yeah.
Tommy Baldwin, of course. There's the 36 machine of Dave Sapienza. Sapienza on the inside with the 75 of Chris Pasteryak. Tucked in behind him, but it's Hirschman in the black 60 holding on to second for now.
These guys just do not get a break at this racetrack. They are wheel-to-wheel, side-by-side, turning constantly and working that throttle not to bump into one another. We got to hold caution.
First one of the night.
And Melissa Feifeld stopped there, but started up and rolling again.
Melissa in the Eastern Propane and Oil machine.
Not sure what happened there, Ralph.
Well, the tight confines, it doesn't take much to get bumped around, does it?
No, not at all, especially when you're constantly turning.
Bonsignor leads him early here at Seekonk Speedway. NBCSN is coming right back for the green flag. Seekonk Speedway, just the 4th race of 16 that make up the 2018 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour schedule. Coming back to the green flag, and Bonsignor first into turn 1.
Hirschman keeping him honest on the outside there. You know, Matt does not run a full schedule and runs really, really well to every one of these races that he comes to.
That car always prepared and ready to go. Top flight organization for sure, getting that car ready to go.
And young Andrew Krause doing a really good job there, Ralph.
Let's learn more about the driver behind the number 24 with Derek.
Another driver that's been on the move has been that number 24 of Andrew Krause. We haven't really heard much from him in the couple of years he's been racing on the tour. He's only been running a sporadic season or 2, but he's been very fast and he's been very competitive when he comes to this racetrack. He calls Wall Stadium his home, and this race car was actually a bare chassis on Tuesday night.
It takes a lot of work to get one of these cars put together that fast.
It really does. You need a good crew, certainly a lot of parts. But with these cars now, Ralph, they build so many of them the same. It is, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a lot easier than it used to be when each one was different.
On board.
I love the onboard. Look at that right front tire. This was with Ryan Preece, you know, one of the top guys out there. How do you like that view, Ralph?
Spectacular.
Inches between those cars. This is why I love the modifieds.
And Ray, they get heavy into the throttle, but not all the way to the floor.
No, the key is not spinning that tire. It's still early in this race. You heard the guy say they're not pitting. Even those tires are big and wide, they're still at so much horsepower and such a light car, it's easy to spin. So working that throttle, you know, I call it the, you know, that traction control. When you've got a good driver and he uses that right foot for traction control, he'll save your right rear. And we know for a fact that Ryan Preece is able to do that.
How concerned are you about Hirschman just being on the outside lap after lap, though, here?
Well, I want to tell you, Matt is a really, really smart racer, and he's smooth, so I'm not super concerned that he's out there.
Let's learn more about Anthony Nocella, who's having a good run, too, Derek.
Anthony Nocella running in the top 5 right now, and this is definitely one of his best tracks. He's had races here in other series like the MRS and the Tri-Track series, so he definitely knows how to get around this racetrack, and he also has a lot of laps here in Anima Midget. He's very comfortable with the surroundings of Seekonk Speedway. He finished 2nd in this race last year. He was 3rd fastest at the drop of the green. And when I talked to him earlier in the day, they said, we're not thinking about points or making anybody happy. We're here to win.
That experience could mean a lot here tonight.
It really does. And again, you know, looking at that 92, just not used to seeing Anthony in that car, but he is doing a really good job. And driving midgets at that place, and they run the midgets there quite a bit, will keep you sharp.
Caution out once again. Just as they were starting to get into traffic. There's the car around. And it's the number 23 machine of Joe DeGracia around here in turns 1 and 2.
15 years old, Ralph. I got driving shoes older than that, Ralph. 15 years old driving a modified. What a great thing to see these young guys coming up.
Boy, that is a lot of horsepower for 15. Too young, Ray, or?
No, I knew another kid started in a sprint car at 15. He did okay.
Yeah, he was all right, too, wasn't he?
Let's see what happened here.
There he goes.
Oh, so they checked up in front of him. No.
Yeah.
And
then
okay,
he got on the brakes
a couple
hard.
of cars he got on the brakes hard, again, when you're turning. But 15 years old.
I believe that was Calvin Carroll in front of him that went around first. And then Joe after that. Back to green. Restart coming, lap 35.
Matt Hirschman still working that outside. I wonder if he's trying to just keep that groove worked in, put a little rubber down there for him to use later. Certainly keeping Justin Bonsignore honest. Now he pulls down in behind him.
Crowd's still right there as well in the 24.
He said, I'm going to try that top side for a while.
And it becomes a rhythm.
It really does once they get going. But, you know, as that rubber moves up, we're back inside a Priest's car. Let's see what the bottom looks like. Yeah, they're not on. Ryan's maybe in a rhythm, but his arms didn't look like it.
One goes around, back behind him, and the caution waves again here at Seekonk.
Oh, in a pack like that, I'll bet there's more than one around, Ralph. Oh, no.
Yep.
Craig Lutz there. Another one of our young guys up.
Another car involved, the 38 machine. That's Kyle Elwood.
On the Eddie Harvey won there with Rocco in it this week.
Matt Swanson in the 89. And it looks like the 58 of Eric Goodale also.
That in-car camera definitely gives you a good view of what's happening out there. Let's see what we can see here. One
car went around on its own, it looks like. And
It looked like he might have dropped the left sides off in the grass and got turned around. And we're watching Ryan Preece get pushed in. I hate to see that. You know, in that number 6 car right there, right now it's black, but it was white for a long time in honor of the legendary Maynard Troyer, who we just lost a few weeks ago. So every time I see that car, I think of all the great things that Maynard Troyer did for the sport of modified racing.
That is for sure an absolute legend in racing throughout the Northeast, and certainly with the modifieds, Maynard Troyer. Swanson's car on the back of the tow truck as well. That will be removed from the racetrack. You see the others involved. We'll take this opportunity to step away. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jeff Rocco, driver of the Dunleavy-sponsored EHR number 1. I got my start in go-karts at 13 years old. I have a twin brother, and the two of us shared a go-kart together. From there on, we moved on to legend cars, and then I jumped right into a modified. Dunleavy's a good friend of mine. He sponsored me in the past, and he put me in touch with Eddie Harvey, and we just all been gelling together so far, so looking forward to the race. You know, actually, most of these guys have ran SKs and danced in late models and done everything else, so it's not like I'm very familiar with them, and racing with them is just, it's like another Friday night show. Not only are they the baddest, fastest cars on the planet, but when you look at the history that's come from them and the drivers that have come through this series, that's what really makes it special. I'm Jeff Rocco, and that's your NASCAR Next-Gen profile.
Back here at the Cement Palace, getting ready to go back to green. Jeff mentioned the SKs. That's just another one of the different modified tours throughout the Northeast that a lot of these drivers put a lot of laps in.
Oh, yeah, Ralph. And when we were at Stafford a few weeks ago, there were, 60 of those things there. So it's really amazing how many open-wheel cars there are in the Northeast. As we go green, the guys are bumping and banging a little bit. I do want to say I see Jeff Rocco at a lot of the vintage stuff, and he kind of threw a challenge out to the Ghost. So we may have to have a little deal. He's got a vintage modified that he runs that's pretty quick.
Huh. Well, based on all the patches I saw in his driver's suit, he's getting a lot of laps.
Oh, these kids keep calling me out.
Nocella and Kraus still fighting here with Bonsignor, but it's Hirschman that's moved into the lead.
Yeah, Matt is smooth. He was saving that tire, got that outside to work a little bit. You know, it looks like Justin might have spun the tires on that restart a little bit as they got moving around, and that's all Matt needed to get clear of them.
Third of the race in the book, scheduled for 150 laps here today.
I'll tell you, I am really impressed with Anthony Nocella and Kraus. And he just saved that car. He's going to lose some spots now, unfortunately. I jinxed him.
Yeah, the top three are going to start to separate. Here's Kraus back here now. He's dealing with Chase Dowling in the 15 as he tries to get his rhythm back.
And as we see Doug Kobe back there in traffic, again, we're just not used to seeing Doug in the back. Let's see, just got in the corner. Nocella got in the back of the 51, and just as Kraus got on the brakes there, it just turned that car a little bit. Boy, Ronnie Silk did a great job not collecting them up.
Sure did. He's in that purple machine. And look at Timmy Solomito in the 16. It's the first we've had a chance to talk about him today.
Yeah, Timmy's another one of the guys that we certainly expect to be battling for the championship as this season goes on. I know that he and Kobe are in the back. They're not up in points where they want to be, but I haven't counted them out yet.
We saw Ryan Preece have his issues. Let's find out what the story is with his machine. Derek?
Ryan Preece falls out of the race during that caution period. There were a bunch of cars involved in the incident, but there's no damage on his car. And Ryan, what happened to you?
We blew a rear end. I don't know what more to say. I mean, it's my own fault, I guess, and the lack of maintenance right there. I was planning on pulling it after this race, and I guess it was one race too late. But overall, the car was definitely starting to come in. The fuel burning off was definitely helping us as the laps were running, but just unfortunate. I don't like not finishing races, so we'll move on. We'll go to Thompson next week with a brand new rear end and go over everything in the running gear and make sure we don't have any mechanical problems.
And guys, last year, Ryan Preece won one of those Thompson races.
Well, he was definitely going to need all the horsepower he could get next week at Thompson for sure anyway.
Yeah, and as they get these parts and pieces lighter and lighter on these cars, it starts to take a little bit of a toll. And the other thing, when these cars are banging bumper to bumper, Ralph, it sometimes really puts an extra load on that ring and pinion gear. So I know Ryan put a lot of that responsibility on himself there, but as I said, on a short track, it's really hard to predict when to change that stuff.
Bonsignor, who leads the points, trying to get around Hirschman, who's taken over the mid portion of this race. Bonsignor won at Thompson back in April. First series win of the season, 13th of his career that afternoon.
Yeah, and switched chassis manufacturers this year. You know, had been running the Spafco car, switched over to the LFR, and he seems to like the setup because he's been stronger this year than he was at this point last year.
No doubt he was 6th in this race just a year ago, and here he is battling for the win.
A little bit of lap traffic up there ahead of the guys now. And again, Anthony Nocella running third. Impressive. You know, that's one of the better runs we've seen him have.
And right behind him in the 85 car, Ron Silk, Stewart's Automotive back machine.
Silk, one of our veterans, working on the back bumper of that 92 now. And we talked about the SKs and things like that. Ron Silk is one of the toughest guys in the other modified classes, especially here at Seekonk and places like that.
Rowan Pennick rounds out the top 5 as we approach the halfway point of this event. Open another caution. There's Kobe. Oh, and it's Summers. Rob Summers around in the 64.
Looks like tires are up, no damage.
In a single car incident, which we thought we'd see a lot more multi-car accidents here just because of the tight confines. Tough to get away from it. We're going to step away just for a moment. Back here in Seekonk, Massachusetts.
Is that the infield, Ralph? No,
Yeah.
that wasn't the infield.
Yeah, the action track of the East is back at it with the modifieds here at the Cement Palace. Justin Bonsignor, the points leader, had the early lead. Of course, we've had our troubles as well, but only one accident that really involved multiple cars. Been a tough night mechanically for Ryan Preece. And now Matt Hirschman showing the way here at Seekonk. Hirschman leading 37 of the 87 laps completed already.
Well, we're past halfway now, so we're going to see who's been nice to the tires and who hasn't. I think the track's getting a little bit slick. It's pretty shiny under those lights. The longer they run, sometimes the slicker the place gets.
Would you have been a better ostrich racer or boat racer here?
Oh, boy, I don't know. Them ostriches can be mean, but I might have had a new set of boots out of that one.
Back to green. Hirschman and Bonsignor once again trying to settle the fight for the lead here at Seekonk. Ralph Shaheen, Ray Evernham, and Derek Perniciglio with you as we're past the halfway point.
And Matt Hirschman, impressive, does not run a lot of the races, only 3 or 4 a year, and doing a great job leading. And here comes Kobe. I've been waiting to see that 2-car get up front. Alongside Chase Dowling. Again, impressive that young man has been this year. Again, switching to the LFR chassis, driving the Rob Fuller house car, I believe.
Kobe's going to settle in behind him. Danik just in front of them, and Ronnie Williams coming up from behind them. Kobe knows it's a long season, too. As we mentioned, this is just round 4 of 16, and Kobe comes into the day sitting 7th in the points, 30 markers down.
Oh yeah, you cannot count him out. You know, he is certainly one of the guys that is headed to the NASCAR Hall of Fame for modified championships. His name is going to be in there with Richie and Jerry and certainly Mike Stefanik. But you know, you cannot count on guys out that have that experience. We have seen that team come back many times and do a great job to gain points at the end of the year. They're just missing a little something right now, and maybe we catch up with Doug at some point and find out what he thinks.
Bonsignor looks like he's starting to turn up the heat a little bit here. Looking to get inside.
Can't really call it the chrome horn, Ralph, but he is letting them know that he wants to get by.
Gonna take a little bit to rattle Hirschman, though.
True veteran, come from a racing family. His dad, former NASCAR modified champion.
A little more bumping, moved him up a little bit. Was it enough? He's got a wheel on him. Bonsignor side by side now with Hirschman. How many laps will they run this way? Hirschman's been good on the outside most of the evening when he's had to go up there.
Wow, that is impressive. Two cars side by side like that, lap after lap. 60 just needs a little bit more off the corner.
Well, this could also open the door for Silk in the 85 as Bonsignor now completes the pass.
Yeah, good to see Ronnie Silk up there in the top three running so strong, but just as I say that, Anthony Nocella dives under him. Chase Dowling all the way up to fourth there, Ralph.
Chase having a good run and bringing right along with him the number 3 of Rowan Pennick.
Yeah, his car seems to be working really good on the bottom, rolling the center of the corner. Inside of 50 to go on the third mile track. These guys are starting to get busy now.
They're going to click off fast, and not a lot of time left to save any more of those tires. You pretty much have what you got, and you're going to have to run with it from here.
Yeah, the only thing you can hope is if you've got your right rear heated up or your car's starting to back up a little bit like Ronnie is, that it may cool off. You hopefully get a caution and let that tire cool off a little bit. But now he's got Doug right behind him, and I think he's going to keep the pressure on. If he pushes him back up into that outside lane, he'll probably lose some more spots. Ronnie Williams just gave Kobe quite a shot getting in the corner there.
Kobe, he's still looking for his first top 5 of the season, sits in 7th. And Black number 2. Doug's victory here in Seekonk last year was the first time he'd won at this place.
Don Levy Trucking, Mayu Tools. It's great to see some local sponsors and people jumping in on a lot of other cars, Ralph. We see more and more sponsorship heading into the modified series because, frankly, it's getting more and more popular again.
It is NASCAR's oldest division, but it's also one of its most spectacular. Legions of fans throughout the Northeast are very loyal to watching these ground pounders in action.
Chase Dowling putting the pressure on Anthony Nocella now. Wow, that 15 car is good on the bottom, Ralph.
It is, and so is the driver. He is doing a great job of wheeling that machine here tonight as he continues to march his way to the front, Derek.
We got to give a call to Chase Dowling in that number 15 machine, running in the 4th spot after starting 13th on the grid. He sits 2nd in points right now with 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s, and he picked up a new ride this year in that number 15 machine. He now drives Robbie Fuller's LFR house car.
Moving through the field that quickly and not abusing the tires says a lot about the man behind the wheel.
Yeah, again, that throttle control and patience at a place like this, but you've got to have a good handling car, and you heard Justin say the nose has got to turn and then you've got to be able to accelerate up off, and it looks like the LFR chassis might have a little bit of an advantage here at Seekonk. Well, Hirschman says, I'm going to check it out. Maybe his tires have cooled off and he's making another run at Justin. This is a good race, Ralph.
Hirschman starting to close back in. We saw how aggressive Bonsignor was to get around Hirschman. Now will Matt return the favor?
I think if he can get to his bumper, he may put a little bit more pressure on him. Great to see the bowler, old Blue 3, running around there still. Lots of wins here at Seekonk for that car, that team.
Oh, boy, things getting tight with traffic.
Oh,
no. It's going to bite Nocella in the 92.
What a shame. That kid has had a great night. It looked like something happened with the 33, and he just checked up on the racetrack. Let's see. What a shame.
Well, Anthony's shot at the win goes out the window now as he'll head for the pits. Get a new right front tire. I don't know if there's any suspension damage in there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's damage, but probably knocked that alignment out. When you hit hard enough, you know, with those racket pinions and things like that. Let's just see what happened here. 33 slid up into the 51. Nocella is coming down to the bottom.
That's Wade Cole in that 33. Looks like he just slowed down.
Yeah, he got in between the leaders there and slowed down, but 92 had a good head of steam behind him.
Oh, he made contact with Hirschman, and then he slowed way down. Let's go down to Derek.
A heartbreak for Anthony Nocella in that number 92 machine. Right front flat out there while he was running in the top 5. They were 3 wide at one point, and of course, when a driver becomes the meat in the sandwich, it never turns out well. Nocella was part of that 3-car ordeal. He got turned around and flattened the right front tire in the process. A tough break for him. He has a fast car, and he has come from the back in the past, and we're going to see what he can do on the restart.
Tough deal, Ralph. I know there's a lot that goes on third-mile track and leaders are coming, you know, but as a lap car, you've got a responsibility to check your mirror and make sure, you know, flagman's pulling you low. I hate to see something like that happen with a lap car. Take a great night away from that kid. Hopefully he can still get a decent finish out of it.
Saw Chris Pasteryak also exiting the racetrack, headed back into the pits. Well, when we come back, we'll take you all the way to the checker flag at NBCSN. Lined up and ready for the green flag here at Seekonk. Seekonk 150 NASCAR Whelen Modified Series. Ready to go back to green.
Bonsignor jumps out, and he's got Matt Hirschman still on his outside, but if I was him, I'd be looking in the mirror at that 15 car.
Dowling has been strong here, especially in the late going. Less than 25 laps remaining.
You know, Ralph, I know there was a little bumping and banging and shoving, but all night long, the 51 and the 60 have run side by side and run a really clean race with one another.
It's been spectacular how they've raced so close for so many laps and kept it mild. You expect the contact, that's a given, but it has been anything but overly aggressive.
Yeah, those guys have been true racing gentlemen with one another, and that's what puts on a good show for the fans.
Now let's see what Dowling does, because he's inside of Hirschman. He's going to get second place here. How will he approach Bonsignor?
I think we're about to find out.
Did Hirschman maybe... Oh, and around goes Kobe! And a challenging season for the 2-car gets even more troublesome. Wow, the 5-time champ just can't catch a break.
And as he jumps on brakes.
Looks like all 4 tires are still full of air.
Yeah, let's see.
Solomino is right behind him, but
couldn't really tell.
Yeah, I couldn't see if they made contact or what.
Let's see. Okay, so there's
contact there.
Williamson. Okay. Again, you know, two cars, when you've got to check up, it looked like, you know, the 85 and 21 got together, and Doug had to check up. And that starts it around, and then normally when you're in traffic like that, it starts around, somebody finishes it for you.
Yeah, it was Ronnie Williams in the 21, and of course, Silk in the 85. Let's get an update from Derek now.
Guys, Steven Kopsick is the crew chief for Chase Dowling. He's out there running in the second spot right now. What is Chase saying on the radio? Because you guys are having a great run out there.
He's real happy with the car. He's been conservative all race, so it seems like he's still got a good piece left. Whereas Hirschman and Justin are racing harder, and we'll have to see what we can do. They're still good. I mean, you can't count them out. So,
did he say the car was better on the longer run or the short run?
He's really got no complaints. I mean, it's good on both. It starts off a little snug and it doesn't get free, so it comes to him, and you know, we keep doing that, keep the tires under him, and a no change race, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Steven Kopsick is a young crew chief. Chase Dowling is a young driver, and they're hoping that youth and exuberance gets them to victory lane tonight.
Youth, I'd say so. That kid looked about 15. Ralph, am I getting that old?
Yes.
That kid's a crew chief, and he does a great job, but my goodness, he looked like a young kid.
I hate to tell you, but yeah, you are.
I am.
But
Sorry.
the problem is I'm right in the draft with you.
I was in one of those old coupes at the start of the show here.
Yeah, here we go.
Whoa, little rubbing.
Oh, yes, sir. Going to get aggressive here at the Cement Palace as we race to the checkers. Bonsignor back out front.
Hirschman back inside the 15 there.
That's exactly where he's going to want to be as they hang out young Chase Dowling. And Pennick in the 3. And Silk in the 85, hoping maybe something falls their way. Hirschman trying to keep Dowling to his outside.
Again, some great wheel-to-wheel two-lane racing tonight.
Well, that's why that grandstand full of fans here tonight at the Cement Palace.
Wow, Dowling's car is strong.
Boy, it is good.
He's rolling the corner and still getting an amazing drive-off on the outside there.
Inside of 10 laps remaining.
Oh, Hirschman got loose.
That's going to give Dowling the opening he needs. Now, can he tuck it to the inside or just stay outside, Ray?
Wow, I'm going to tell you, Justin pulled up and took a little bit of his lane away, and that was the only way he could break his momentum. That 15 car is strong. If he gets a clear lane, I think he may drive by. Putting some pressure on Bonsignor for sure.
Bonsignor having such a solid season, and now Dowling ups the pressure as he starts to tap the backside of the 51.
And we've got the 60 and the 3 right in there. We've got a race with 5 laps to go here, Ralph.
Who's got enough tire left? Who can make one final push to attack Bonsignor? Counting him down. Final few circuits here at Seekonk. Bonsignor in control. Dowling's got to close it up, Ray. He's still a half a car length back.
He might have heated up his tires on the outside right there. It looks like Bonsignor is in that rhythm. But we'll see. He's cooled him off. He had a good corner right there.
Justin Bonsignor and Chase Dowling, 1 and 2 in the point standings, and they run 1 and 2 on the racetrack.
Another
with
good
just
corner.
a couple of laps to go.
Is he going to get to his bumper?
White flag will be out next time by. Dowling trying to close back up, but Bonsignor looks awful strong. 1 more lap to go here at the Cement Palace. Here comes Dowling, closing back up as they dive down into 3. He can't get there, and Bonsignor wins at Seekonk.
Wow, what a race. That was one of the best modified races we've seen in a while, Ralph. Great racing side by side. Good, clean racing.
Great racing action here today at the Cement Palace, and the top 2 in the point standings show why they're the 2 cars to beat so far in 2018. Justin Bonsignor and Chase Dowling putting on a show and they'll finish 1-2. We'll talk to them when we return to Seekonk. Big crowd on hand here tonight. They came to see some good action, and the modifieds delivered. The Seekonk 150 was a great show. Justin Bonsignor will extend his points lead as he picks up another victory here today and rolls in to victory lane. Here he comes.
Well, the point leader picks up the win here tonight at Seekonk 150 laps later, and you really made it look easy out there.
I wish it was. You know, Matt and I both have really good cars. I think he was just getting a little tighter than I was. We both were. Man, that's better than the Thompson one. That one was cold. Yeah, we're both, I think, just getting tighter and tighter as we ran, and he got me on that one restart, and, you know, I just had to give it to him, and I was working him over, and I was able to put a good crossover on him. It was a pretty good short track race in there. We didn't beat and bang really at all, and we didn't have the best car, but everybody else was a little worse tonight as far as being tight. So, you know, it's good to get back to victory lane so quickly. It's our second car. We got 2 different cars to victory lane already, 4 races in, so it's really something I'm really proud of. It's my crew chief's birthday, Ryan Stone, tomorrow, so happy birthday to him. Can't thank everybody enough. Phoenix Communications, LFR Race Cars, Robert Yates Engines, just everybody that's a part of this team. It's just everything's clicking right now, and hopefully we can continue it.
Justin Bonsignor pads the point lead just a little bit. He wins here tonight at the Cement Palace.
As we take a look at the final results, Ray, one of the things I was impressed with was the fact that he said he's won with more than one car this year.
Yeah, again, that switch from the Spafco to the LFR seems to work out great for him. But I'm going to tell you, I'm really impressed with that kid that's right behind him. We saw him come on board as a rookie, and he's a legitimate contender, Ralph. Chase
Dowling most certainly is, and he's a big part of the celebration down there post-race because he came home with a very solid second-place effort today. He'll stay right in the thick of the points chase as this championship continues to move on. Let's introduce you to him with Derek now.
Well, Justin Bonsignor and Chase Dowling run 1 and 2 in the points right now. They ran 1 and 2 tonight here at Seekonk. And did you need a few more laps to catch them? Because it looked like you were getting closer and closer.
Yeah, we had a good run starting 13th. We had to save some tires and came through the field there and went when we thought we should go. When we got to Justin and Matt Hirschman and put on a good battle. Outside lane here is actually fun to watch and fun to race, obviously. And had a great run. Can't thank 1540 Connection, SNS, Asphalt Paving, LFR, all the guys that come out and show off fastest cars.
You're driving Rob Fuller's house car this year, second in the points. You finished second tonight. Is a championship in the midst? Are you trying to eye one up or trying to learn how to run for a championship?
You know, it's kind of bugging me finishing second a lot. So hopefully we can get the win and then see what it plays out at the end of the year. Maybe be in contention for the championship.
As Chase Dowling, he comes home in the second spot tonight.
I like the attitude. I love the fact he's that hungry.
Yeah, it's amazing. These young kids can speak as well as they are. What an amazing deal. He and his crew chief look 15. That's why the car's number 15.
Well, he lost a few points tonight, but he's still very much in the thick of this fight. Matt Hirschman put on a good run as well, Derek.
Ralph, October 5th, 2008. That was the last time Matt Hirschman won a NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour race 10 years ago. Almost pulled it off tonight, but did the car tighten up too much?
Yeah, we were at that point of the race when we had the lead. We were just a little bit too tight, and you know, there's not much you can do about it here. It's a fine line at this racetrack. You're on one side or the other, and this place really aggravates it, and it only usually gets worse. So, you know, it's definitely a good night. I mean, to qualify and start where we did and run where we did and finish where we did, it's a good night. But we're here really looking to win, and I'd like to get PD Motorsports a Whelen Tour win. It's a new team that we're only in year 2, and we only do three of these races a year, and we're a contender to win every one. But I'd just like to finish the deal and get a win or 2 for PD Motorsports.
It won't be before long before you see Matt Hirschman in victory lane.
Well, look, Matt might not have won a tour race recently, but he wins pretty regularly.
Oh, yeah, he goes where the money's at, and he's picked off quite a few wins already this year.
K&N Pro Series West competition coming your way from Colorado National Speedway. You can see it Thursday, June 14th, right here on NBCSN. Well, the modifieds are going to move on, and we'll follow the tour right along with them, right?
Absolutely, Ralph, and I can't wait. Based on what we saw tonight, I can't wait to see the next modified race.
It's going to be fun watching these younger drivers make their way through and into victory lane, and some of these older veterans, you know they're going to come alive.
The modified racing is healthy with the drivers and the crews, the sponsors we have. We just need to get some ostriches back out here.
I love it. For Derek Prenisiglio, my ostrich racing partner, Ray Evernham, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long for now. Congratulations to Justin Bonsignor on winning at Seekonk.